Hi folks, welcome back to my channel, D versus Debt. I am D, and I am here with my official debt confession. So at the end of February, my house refinance finally finalized, and as of March 2019, my debt total is exactly $70,000. So I have my car paid off, my credit cards paid off, everything's taken care of. The only thing I owe money on is my mortgage. Now, I was pretty frustrated and stressed out and a little bummed going into the refinance because of the fact that I had actually gotten my loan down to $64,000 at the old bank that I had my mortgage at. I'd been chipping away at it for a while. The original loan was $95,500, and so I'd paid it down to $64,000. However, with the refinance, a couple of major things came up. So part of my divorce decree was that I would refinance the house under my name and that I would take my ex-husband off of, the account. Even though for years he hasn't been making payments or anything, I just had kind of dragged my feet on doing the right refinance because I was just avoiding those darn closing costs. And also something came up, something major that I hadn't expected. So anyways, with the closing costs, that added a few $1,000s to what I owed on the mortgage. And then it turns out there was a lien against the house. So when my then husband and I took out the loan for the mortgage, we had qualified for a down payment assistance program for low-income people. So we were thrilled at the time. He was a full-time fireman and EMT, emergency medical tech, and I was a full-time elementary school teacher. Now, even though we both had what I considered to be good jobs, we still qualified for low income. I think between the two of us, we made less than $50,000. 55,000, I think, with our incomes combined. So because of that, this program had given us $4,100 and change to put towards the down payment. Now, when I refinanced, they asked that I pay that money back. So now that went into, pushing up the cost. So again, instead of $64,000, the loan that I took out with this new bank is $70,000 to cover the closing costs and to cover that down payment assistance program that I had to pay back. But now the house is officially mine. My ex-husband's name is off of it. The lien is off of it that program had put on the house. And so now everything's good and ready to go. The thing that really helped with the refinance, it actually cut my payment in half, which is absolutely amazing. My original loan was a 30-year loan. Now that I refinanced, I asked for a 15-year loan. The interest rate was much, much better this time around. And then also, I shopped around for flood insurance, which was huge. It was really adding a lot to my monthly payment. It was so expensive because the house I'm at is in a flood zone, even though I live in Arizona and there's no rain. So I don't know how we ended up in a flood zone. But anyways, I got a good deal on flood insurance. And because I bundled my car insurance and my homeowner's insurance, it also brought down my payment because of the home insurance. So my old loan, my monthly mortgage payment was $1,053 and change. And now at the new bank, the new loan is $531 and change, which is such a tiny little payment. So again, cut it in half, and it's just mind-blowing that that happened. So now that that was all squared away, at the beginning of March, I created 3 major financial goals. And so I posted those on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, I'm a lot more active on there. I try to post something every day. And some days I post multiple times. And so I posted a nice little list there of my 3 March goals. I have them here, but they're, like chicken scratch. They're terrible. I kind of jotted them down really fast. But on Instagram, they're, typed out all cute and little emojis and all that. So anyways, these are my 3 goals for March. The first one was to get a month ahead on my mortgage payment because my first official mortgage payment wasn't due until April 1st. I had all of March to pay it. So I wanted to actually get a month ahead on that. Second goal was to put $1,500 towards principal only, to knock that number down from $70,000 back to my original $64,000 as soon as possible. And even though it sounds like a pretty lofty goal, especially, with just one income, I did have this month a lot of money that came back from a surprise tax return. So I wasn't expecting a refund this year when I filed taxes. And then also my tax lady caught a major oopsie that I've been doing with my taxes, and so she filed an amendment for the last 3 years, which got me money back, and all of that money is going towards this. So it's going down to help bring that number down from 70 back down to 64 as soon as possible. And my third goal for March was to fully fund baby step 3. So I'm following the Dave Ramsey baby steps, and in February I was 80% there. So I'm happy to say that actually my third goal for March I finished this last week. A few days ago was my payday. So as soon as, like literally 5 minutes after that direct deposit hit in my account and I checked it to make sure it was there, I put that money towards the savings account and did a little happy dance, and I'm now covered. I've completed officially baby step 3. I have 6 months of expenses saved away in a savings account, and you were thinking, well, big whoop, she has a savings account. Let me make a very embarrassing confession. This year was the first year that I opened a savings account. I've never had one before. That's how bad I am with money. So in January, I walked into the bank to open the savings account, and I was extra embarrassed because my student was one of the tellers. So the teeny tiny bank that I go to has 2 tellers. That's how little the counter is. There's only room for 2 tellers. And so he was in one and the other lady was at the other, so I went for the other lady, but he could still hear because there was no one else there except for me. And I'm like, I'm embarrassed to say that I'm about to open my very first savings account. But I did. I'm sure he giggled to himself, and I'm sure he thought, wow, my teacher is dumb. She's never had a savings account, but now I do. So there's that. So up until now, I've always just kept money in my checking account, and I never bothered to put it into a savings account. But finally, at the beginning of the year, I got my head together and I realized, well, initially I've been planning to put money little by little by little throughout the year until I hit my goal of 6 months saved. And then it dawned on me, wait, if I dump all this money in there now, especially since I'm getting these tax refund checks, they'll collect interest. And I'll get more interest if I have it at the beginning of the year than if I put little tiny chunks throughout the entire year. So I went ahead and did that. It kind of hurt because it basically wiped out my bank account. But it's worth it. 2 weeks from now, I'll be okay again. And I think it's a good decision that I made to just fund that savings account. And the nice thing about it is that money is hard to get to. So in my mind, it's like the money doesn't exist. If some major catastrophe happened and I need to tap into it and get those 6 months of expenses out and going, I will. But for now, I just consider that money like magically poof, disappeared, and I can't touch it, which is a good thing. And it'll just sit there and collect, interest. So that goal is already taken care of. I already did get a month ahead on my mortgage payment, which I'm very excited about as well. And I'm also chipping away at the second goal to make extra payments towards principal. So I have a funny story about that as well. So again, the paycheck rolled in and I'm like, I'm gonna put this extra money that I have towards my principal payment. So I went to the bank today and I walked in and I told the teller, I'm going to make a payment towards principal only, not a regular monthly payment. So at first she was like, oh, okay. And I think she tried to apply it to my regular payment and she saw that I'm paid through until May. She's like, oh, okay. So then the other teller jumped in to try to help her figure it out. And they realized after a while, okay, we're going to have to call this manager to have her do it. So the lady gets on the phone, calls the manager. The manager says she'll work on it. She worked on it, hung up the phone, worked on it for a while, called her back and says, I can't do it. So you're going to have to call somebody else. So the poor teller called somebody else. And after a while, that somebody else figured out how to do it. In the meantime, there's this big, long line like forming behind me. And the other teller's like, sorry, so sorry. We'll be with you in a minute. And instead of being embarrassed, I felt bad, but I was like, all right, like, this tells me that not a lot of people do what I'm doing right now to make extra payments because it took 4 people to figure out how to do it. So that actually made me kind of proud, like, okay, all right, I'm doing something different. I'm doing something good. And that's one of the things Dave Ramsey says is, debt is normal, be weird. And so I was definitely the weirdo holding up the line at the bank and I'm sure annoying people, but I was thrilled because I'm like, that I'm being weird, I'm doing something good. So anyways, I'm very, very, very close then to already meeting all 3 of my March goals. Again, it's not because I'm, you know, doing something out of the ordinary or wonderful. It's just I happened to get a big help with that tax refund money that came back to me. That made a huge difference. Without that, I wouldn't be this far ahead this quickly. So I'm very grateful for that surprise money that came my way. Also, I have a couple of friends that are away from their shop, and so I'm covering for them. I am helping take care of their house and their pets, and also helping take care of their business. And so that's bringing in, that side hustle is bringing in a good amount of money that is also going to help, you know, lower that debt payment really quickly. But anyways, that is where I'm at right now. So again, as of March 2019, officially my starting balance was $70,000 in debt. And I will keep you guys posted on how I'm doing. Thank you so much for watching, because it really helps keep me motivated. I'm really enjoying the people that I've met through here. Like, for example, there's a lady that I have so much in common with. So Lisa Marie, I love watching your videos, and I love your comments here, because it really helps me out. We're in such a similar situation, like same age, same everything, down to like the pets. It's just, it motivates me to watch you make progress, and it motivates me to hear from you. On my Instagram as well, I've met some wonderful people that are also really helping me, you know, stay focused and stay excited and work hard to meet my goals. So thank you to everybody that's helping me along in my little debt journey, and I will keep you guys posted, and thank you for watching. Have a great day.